Welcome to Binge or Bail, where this is actually episode 2 and 3 of the podcast. We had a bit of a technical mishap, and by that I mean I accidentally really just kind of botched the recording, and it didn't work. And so we are going to actually talk about 2 TV shows today. We'll just hit the first one real quick. We're going to talk about Violet Evergarden, and we're going to talk about, what's the other one called? Haikyuu. And so anyway, my name is Seth. I'm joined by my wife, Kayla.
Hello.
My sister-in-law, Lorna.
Hello.
And my brother, William.
Yo.
And on this podcast, we watch the first episode of TV shows, the pilot episodes of TV shows, and then we decide, based on that alone, are we going to binge the show or are we going to bail on the show? And so I'm going to kick it over to William to start our real quick recap of Violet Evergarden, which is an anime Lorna picked, one of her favorite of all time. William, we talked for a long time about it, and you said a lot of good things about it, and I'm really sorry that nobody gets to hear them. So, but,
that's all right. I don't think I will remember them all, so I don't think they will end up here either. But that's all right. I was just kind of flowing off of where the conversation went. But Violet Evergarden it takes place in a post-World War I-esque fictional world where this woman grew up trained to be a child soldier, and she's probably about 15 when the show takes place, 16. And at the end of the war, at the end of her tenure in the war, she was wounded. She lost both of her arms. And her commander, who she was bound to because she knew nothing but war and his commands, seemingly perished. But she is...
I don't like that you said seemingly. That's making me upset.
I'm just saying that's what the show wants you to think.
We can't spoil it. We can't spoil it.
Well, that's just what the show wants you to think.
Yes, that's fair. That's all accurate. I'm not upset.
And now
But he will be.
she is healing and has metallic hands, and she has no purpose in life because she tied her whole being to being in the military and just doing crazy super soldierish stuff, fighting guys with rifles, with hand-to-hand combat, that kind of stuff. And now, post-war, there's a guy that she knew from the war who has started a company, and he is trying to take care of her by giving her a job because she has no purpose, so he's giving her purpose. And at first it's like, well, she's going to sort mail, and she does that too well. And then like, okay, well, she can deliver mail, but she's trying to do it when the business is closed. And so then by the end of the episode, it turns out that she wants to be in this program that I forget the name of, but essentially
they're called auto memory dolls.
Auto memory dolls. The dolls is just a cultural...
It means they're girls.
It means that they're cute girls, essentially, I guess. I don't know. But anyway. What they do is they are essentially scribes for people that are illiterate and just don't know how to write what they want to write. So people come in wanting to write love letters or just letters of importance and documents of importance, and they hire these girls to write them letters with just the perfect flowery language for the target audience and that kind of thing. And so that is the basic premise of episode 1 and the series onward.
And it was... Oh, sorry.
No, you go ahead.
It was made by Haikyuu Animations, who is phenomenal. And there's also some OVA episodes, and Violet Evergarden's also a Netflix anime. So Netflix adapted it from a light novel, which is a little bit different from a manga, where a manga is like a comic book and a light novel is basically mostly text, but there might be like some graphics included in it. And so Violet Evergarden was initially a big hit as a light novel, and then Netflix picked it up and adapted it into an anime. And so that's really cool that Netflix is doing that now. But essentially, Haikyuu Animation also has a movie out on Netflix that supposedly answers some of the bigger questions that the show kind of leaves unanswered. And they also have another movie that was supposed to come out in April, but then they had like a horrible terrorist attack that happened, and then that got pushed back. But then it was released in September in Japan, but they don't have a US release slated yet, probably because of the pandemic and all that. But just so you know, if you watch the show, there's really good OVAs. There's also a movie, and then there's another movie that answers more questions, and that's supposed to come out in the US soon-ish. So they leave you hanging, but there's more coming, so don't worry.
And OVAs are like extra stuff.
Yeah, they're like side episodes that, like, if you have a side character who, like, they want to go into more backstory, like they do that with Attack on Titan a little bit. Yeah, like Levi, they go back into his backstory, but yeah.
Original video animation.
Yep.
Yeah. But with Violet Evergarden, the cool thing about it is, one, the art is phenomenal. KyoAni has like some amazing animators and artists. It's so good, and it has a lot of like jewel tones to it, which is really an interesting like color scheme, but it's just so pretty and I love it so much. The art is just the best, and it's like some pilot episodes, the art starts out okay because they don't have the biggest budget. They don't know how well the anime is going to do, but because like with Netflix animes, they already have like a preset budget to spend. The art is like amazing from the get-go. So Violet Evergarden is well done for sure on the art front. So
Yep. Okay. Kelly, anything before we get to if you're going to binge or bail on this one?
Did you like it?
You got to be louder than that.
Yeah, I liked it. I thought it was really pretty. And yeah, I liked the different characters and the different relationships that are possibly going to be formed, and yeah, I don't know, I guess.
Yeah, you liked it. So I also liked it. I guess I'll start with like final verdicts on this one. In the episode that we recorded that nobody's hearing, I said that I choose to binge this one and retroactively stepped back from Attack on Titan because it's more so just moving it kind of down the list, but kind of putting Violet Evergarden up above. I didn't think I was going to like it based on the first couple minutes of the show, but as it went on, I did like it more and more, and I thought the music in it was really good, and so I decided that I was going to binge this one. And
did you watch more of
also
it?
hold me to it. I haven't yet.
Okay.
But I was trying to get a lot of work done so I could take a week off. So I'm hoping this week I can get some in. So.
Okay. I'll bug you.
You should. All right, Kayla, how about you? Binge or bail?
I did want to binge it because I had actually already started watching it before a while back, but then I like didn't remember. I don't know why I stopped, but it wasn't one that I could do other things while I was watching it.
Yeah, you
I
can't
would
like
just be like, what happened?
Yeah, it's not when you can like be on your phone and watch at the same time.
Yeah, it's not like my normal, like if it's just like the high school romance, you already know what's happening.
It's not Terrace House.
It's not. Yeah, it's not like predictable at all. Really.
Yeah, I'm like, whoa, who is this person?
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah. Well, then plus like, I for some reason thought she was a robot. To be honest.
Yeah.
But
I mean, she acts like a robot. She just lacks human empathy.
She's
like,
a programmed human.
Right. Well, and like
they say metallic arms, so that's fair.
They say in the first episode, her whole quest, the problem the character's trying to solve, if we want to reference Save the Cat here, is trying to figure out what the word love means. And because that's one of the last things the Major said to her before he supposedly died, but we don't know that for sure.
Supposedlys are killing me.
Well, that's what the show
I don't
is.
know, and I like the Colonel guy and stuff.
Yeah, Gilbert.
But yeah, I like the potential. Like, I want to see like what's gonna come like with the letters. If there's gonna be more stories with the different letters of the people coming in and stuff.
Yep.
But
that's one of my favorite parts. Is like I enjoy side stories. I'll say this, the side stories are great because the characters come back later. And so you like grow attached to these characters, but it's not like they disappear forever.
Yeah.
And so that's the cool thing that comes from the letters and the auto memory dolls is that they you get to know more characters and this world more, because that is one thing that's really refreshing about it, is it's a definitely different like storyline. It's not like a lot of anime is high school based or younger generation based, just because they have this like obsession with like first loves and coming of age stories. Like that time, they definitely romanticize like that time of life culturally. So, and again, there's a lot of German influence in this too, with like the post-war influence. Like Attack on Titan, we see a lot of like German influence in their uniforms and the music and everything. The names. Same thing with this. Like there's a lot of German influence, and that's from like World War II and such, with their alliance with Germany and everything. So interesting history facts there with Violet Evergarden. But yeah.
Great.
So Seth, you binge?
I binge. Kill a binge.
It's your turn.
Avi binge. I love this show a lot.
Yeah.
For obvious reasons, like I said. I like that it's a unique story, and it's really well done art-wise. The voice acting is really well done, and it's just really, really exciting to see Netflix pick up more anime adaptations. So,
Yeah, I would say that a unique setting and fairly unique story concept, as well as the fact that it is a limited series comparatively to a lot of things, would lead me to choose Binge on Violet Evergarden.
Because it's just one season.
Correct, besides the movies.
Besides the movies and stuff. Sure. Cool. All right. Well, thank you for everybody letting us catch up with that, Violet Evergarden. And then the episode we're actually talking about today, because we're continuing on, we'll be over halfway through Lorna's top 5 anime of all time after this one. But Lorna came to us with a show called Haikyuu.
Yep,
right?
it means volleyball.
And it means volleyball in Japanese.
Yeah.
So, as you would guess,
2 exclamation points.
that's very
and
important.
sometimes there's 1 U and sometimes there's 2. It just depends.
It's true.
So as you would guess, that this show is about volleyball. Now, unlike all volleyball media in the United States, though, it's about male volleyball.
Yep.
So,
High school.
Young
Yeah.
lads.
so this episode kind of does the same kind of thing that Attack on Titan does, where you have your first episode and then there's a time jump. And so then I feel like I don't really know if I really know any of the characters that are going to be in the rest
Right.
of the show or anything. If you're just watching one episode.
You guys watched the dub, right?
Well, I watched both of them
Oh,
because
well,
I
now
watched
you have,
with,
yeah, 'cause
because
we
I watched
watched the
with you
sub
guys
over.
too when you came over. And I'd stand by. I think I'm just a dub guy. I think it's like
That's okay.
That's fine.
I think it's
It's
easier for
okay.
me. I get it, and I'm fine with reading subs. But I think for me, I'm way more of an auditory person when it comes to like processing information,
Right.
and so I remember things better. Like I can look at a book, and that's one reason why reading can be difficult for me. And I'd be like, I'll read names. Like when I tried to read Lord of the Rings, it was very hard because it was just like I don't remember who is
How to
who,
pronounce
and
stuff.
like
And yeah.
and like this person hasn't shown up for like 3,000 pages, and all of a
Yeah.
sudden here they are. It's like,
Yeah, that's the weird thing of like movies and audiobooks based on written media is like you'll find out that names are pronounced way different than you thought
Yeah.
they were.
like I remember when Harry Potter was first coming out, like everybody thought
Dude, everyone said Hermione's name different.
yeah, like I remember being
It was
in
like a cultural revolution when she finally said was it Chamber of Secrets?
no, it's in
Or is it Prisoner of Azkaban, the third one?
it's in Goblet of Fire when
Oh,
it's
wow,
like
Goblet
the
of Fire.
dude
Hermione.
the dudes come right and they say it
Yep.
wrong,
Yeah.
and they're
Yeah.
like, it's Hermione, not Hermione.
Yeah.
Olivier Saw.
I said Hermione for the longest time.
Hermione
Like,
is
this
how my
such a long
teacher
name.
Hermione.
Hermione.
I would say.
Hermione.
Island.
Oh, I just pulled my Hermione. But anyway.
There's all sorts of weird ways
Oh
people
my
said it.
god.
But anyway, I think that's just a personal thing for me. I'm glad that people like, I understand people get the emotional stuff, but also the cultural wise, like it just, I don't know, just the noises and stuff people make just because you're from different places.
Right.
in the
Oh
world.
yeah, the
Everything's like
subs are like
Just like little
the grunts or whatever.
Right.
there's little
emotional.
like little auditory things where it just means something different in different cultures.
Right.
And it's just little noises like you said. Like,
Yeah.
but,
It was interesting to watch both and compare them.
yeah, I think that so when we started watching this show, we were like all 4 seasons in before they even put out the English.
Sure.
the dub,
Dub.
yeah.
So it was like we just wanted to keep watching it.
It's so weird.
And so we just were like watching the sub, and now it's like all the characters.
Yeah, you get like really attached
they sound
to the
weird
voice
to me
actors.
if it's not.
Sure.
It does. It sounds like this isn't who this person is. This isn't what they sound like. But it's funny because like it's funny you say that because later on in Haikyuu, I can't remember what season it is, but this isn't a spoiler. There's a young girl who becomes like the assistant manager of the team. And there's a part where it shows her at home and her mom comes home and her mom's like, her mom's leaving for a work thing. And in the sub, her mom's like, okay, you need to do the dishes. And she's like,
the dishes. And she
she's
says,
like, holy, or something like that.
She's like exasperatedly says yes. And then she's like, hi.
That was like so cute and so funny.
That's funny.
But we're English, so like we don't hear.
We're American, Lorna.
Okay, well, whatever.
Speaking.
whatever. We speak English. Yeah, we're English speaking people.
Did you hear Colton when we started watching it in Japanese?
Oh no!
And he was he was like, you gotta put it in England.
Yeah, they call it England.
He's like, I can't understand him. You gotta put it in England.
And poor little dude can't read yet.
No, not at all.
Oh no! You still watched the whole thing though.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, he had watched the English for it. So.
I gotta put it in England.
Put it in England.
Oh my gosh! But no, we'll say that randomly. We'll be like, holy.
Anyway, we need to synopsize this.
Yeah,
show.
what happened? What's this show about? Who wants to take it?
Me? Can I take it?
Go for it.
Because I love the show a lot.
Go for it.
Okay, first things first. Volleyball is love. Volleyball is life. So this show has also made a lot of more people love volleyball, which is really fun. And a lot of people, like I was even in a Reddit volleyball forum one time, and someone's like, I started playing volleyball because I watched Haikyuu and I really liked it. And there's a lot of people that are like, yeah, me too. And so, anyways, that's really cool. But this show,
and you like volleyball?
I love volleyball. It's my favorite.
She liked volleyball before
Haikyuu.
What? Before it was cool?
Before
it was Haikyuu?
I would say before it was cool. Before an anime showed people. You're gonna say that before it was cool.
Volleyball is fun.
Volleyball.
Okay.
I played volleyball in PE.
I played Smash Face.
That's not volleyball. Yeah. That's not volleyball.
Better than
volleyball.
That is a disgrace to a volleyball playing Smash
Whoa.
Face. I cringe.
It makes me wish that we could have got them to go to the co-ed thing.
Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh, that'd be funny.
All right, you gonna synopsize
so,
this?
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah,
so,
are you going to stop us interrupting?
Yeah.
So it's a boys. So in Japan, they have clubs, and then they also have like the sports teams. But volleyball is not as popular, so it's a boys' club. And it mostly follows Hinata, who is a very short, shrimpy, red-headed, fiery, shy kiddo who has a lot of heart. He's not a good player. He didn't grow up playing like all the other boys did.
What? He's not good?
Hinata-kun has heart, and he has prowess. He is very short,
and he can jump.
But he has tenacity, and he has drive like none other.
An insane vertical.
Okay,
it's insane.
Here's the thing. The series starts with Hinata.
I'll just let you do it.
No, you're gonna help me. You're gonna help me. The series starts with Hinata riding on his bike, and he stops in front of the television shop.
I was gonna get to this.
Well, this is where we're starting.
We're not fast enough.
It's literally the start, so it's where we're starting. He's riding by, and he stops in front of a television shop, and there's the high school national championship on the television, and there's a school. The Karasuna Crows.
He'd be like a 5th grader at that point. Right?
Yeah, he's like in middle school.
Well, yeah, he's like a 5th grader.
3 years and 3 months.
Oh, gotcha.
Earlier.
Yeah.
And then he's at the end of middle school.
Yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, he stops, and there's these volleyball players on TV playing the national championship, and there's all these huge, like tall guys, obviously, because that's favorable in volleyball. But then he notices this one.
Not necessarily.
Well, not necessarily.
In the show, they make it sound.
They make it
Right.
appear that way.
Sure.
I talk through the filter of the show, so.
Yeah, Lorna, stop
Sorry,
interrupting.
I'll stop
will
being
you?
an elitist.
Stop
Sorry.
interrupting, will you?
But anyway, so he notices one player, though, that goes by the Little Giant, and he plays for Karasuna. Mm-hmm. And he's
Karasuna.
amazed by this. He's amazed by this kid who is extremely short, just like he is, but is able to clear the net and spike the ball. Mm-hmm. And he, from that point forward, wants to be that guy.
Mm-hmm. That's like his hero.
Yeah.
I'm going to be the next Little Giant.
Pretty much, yeah.
So
He does like quick attacks.
So now you can tell us
What
about
happened?
Kageyama.
Kageyama, the king setter.
Yes.
He's
The
actually
king of the
my-
court?
He's actually my
King of the
favorite character in the whole show.
You mean
Yeah.
the Vegeta
Inform
of
us
this show?
about Kageyama.
Well, he's basically like a moody, rude, bossy
Vegeta.
player.
He's the Vegeta and that guy's Goku.
He's very competitive to a fault, though, to the point where he makes people not enjoy the game because he will yell at players to try harder, go faster, be quicker, and he's just awful, but he's really good at what he does. So he's definitely like that archetype of rude, competitive, but you still need him on the team. Like, he's a necessary part of the team, unfortunately.
His skill is evident.
Yeah, so the basis of the show
That's
is
why
like...
you keep him around, because he's good.
He's the
Yeah.
king of the court.
Like, they show, like, a lot of it is, like, the tension between Kageyama and Hinata, and, like, that already starts a little bit in the first episode. You get a glimpse into that.
Mm-hmm.
But the character development of them both it's really fun to watch.
Because the orange-haired guy, even though it's... I can't remember.
Hinata.
Yeah, so even though it's like he's never got to play in a game before, and he's pretty much just like guilt-tripped his friends into
doing the club with him.
Play this one game with
Yeah,
him.
they all just felt so
And they
bad.
got
Yeah.
first years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like the whole thing is like, even though they aren't doing good, like he's still like, hey, good job guys, we'll try better. And like, so it's like obviously he's a better, like he's going to be a better leader and like team wise than the guy who has the natural talent and stuff. And so it's like, it also goes for, that's real life, people.
Yeah,
Right.
it
People
is.
will keep you around at jobs and everything if you're nice. Then like, even if you're not as like the best person, then if you're like a jerk and the best at something.
Right.
Well, he more so, he's like, I'll do better.
Yeah,
Well,
he
but
like,
even
wants to improve. And he's
even like everybody else,
coachable.
like when like they would mess up, he'd be like, "It's okay, we'll get the
Right.
next one." And
Yeah.
like, "We'll
Right.
get it."
Yeah.
That's
So
my
then when he
favorite
messes
part.
up, they're like, "It's okay, you'll do it." And so
Yeah.
like you can see he's influencing all of them and making all of them better.
He does have a little bit of like that prodigy of like, you're like, wow, like he's like an unpolished stone
Because he can jump high.
They show like he
he's
has
got the
an insane
potential.
range.
He's super fast.
Yep, he's super fast. Yeah.
So
He's got speed
then,
lines.
just to acknowledge that these two main characters collide in the first episode. The first episode is the final tournament of their middle school years, and Hinata's thrown together team faces off against Kageyama's like legit team,
Yeah.
like the best team in the prefecture. And
It's a true weighted bracket.
yeah, it is
1 in
Well,
16.
Right.
Well, I mean, that's usually how
Yeah.
it goes, the
Yeah.
seeding and stuff. But so then they collide in this tournament, and it becomes evident quickly that one side is favored over the other.
Right, but they also kind of do an interesting thing where they foreshadow the connection between Kageyama and Hinata.
Yeah.
Where like Hinata's like, holy cow, look at Kageyama. He's such a good
Commanding
player.
presence.
I like his commanding presence, and he really admires that about him. Kageyama won't admit it, but you can already see like he's in awe of how like Hinata's quick attacks, which are basically where like it's a quick set.
He likes it when people
And-
are quick.
Yeah, he
yells at
does.
Some people have good
Because
physical
it's
talent.
He
like-
yells it with people when they're not
They're
quick.
sneaky, easy kills. Like
Yeah.
they're like pretty favorable. If you're in a pinch, you can do a quick like. And Hinata shows that like it's called the slide hit, where you like. Well, sometimes you start from behind the setter, and then the setter sets it behind them, and then you kind of do like a layup, like in basketball, and you come out from behind them and hit it. And Hinata's like super good at that, so Kageyama's like in awe. He's like, wow, he has a lot of potential, and he's actually really good, and he came out of nowhere to do that and
I
stuff.
think it's funny in shows when, like, especially in anime, when people do something that is, like, just a normal, like, a real life thing people do, and they're like, how is he doing it? And
I know.
it's just-
The overreaction, or the exaggeration
yeah, like
of
the
it.
same reaction that somebody would have in, again, my point of reference for anime, Dragon
Right.
Ball Z, if, like, Goku blows up, like, a mountain or
Right,
something, and they're
yeah.
like, oh, he's so powerful!
Right.
And, like, this guy, like, jumps in the air and spikes a volleyball and like, it's impossible!
Dude, but have you ever been in an arena when like
No, I'm just
someone
saying- I
slam
just
dunks
think-
the basketball?
Yeah, I just
Like,
think
that
it's-
is hype.
I just think it's
It
like
is.
it's just funny that it's like the exact same reaction. to
No,
everything.
for sure.
This is funny.
Yeah, it's
But
true.
yeah, but perspective wise, Piccolo has seen Goku blow up mountains before.
Oh my
Truly,
gosh.
So it's kind of the same scope.
Oh
Yep.
my gosh.
So is the volleyball in the show accurate?
Yes, they actually studied volleyball extensively to make sure like the angles were correct. It's kind of insane like the amount of work that goes into animation with sports animes because you don't think about how like when you're blocking, your hands are pressing over the net. You're not like straight up. Like, so, you know, an animator might go in there and be like, oh yeah, they'll block, they'll go straight up. But like the ball can just tip off your fingers and go from behind you. You have to learn how to like swing your arms up to get that momentum. And so you have to learn how to animate that. And then you have to learn how to animate them like pressing down on the ball to keep the ball from like coming over the net. So the animators spent like, I think it was like a full year, I read one time, just going around traveling, like watching volleyball games, like filming it, like studying the film, getting different angles, because you don't think about like all the different camera angles of the courts. Because if you're sitting like watching a volleyball game, that's just one angle. But there's all sorts of different angles you can go from. Like you can be at the net, you can be from like the corner of the court, you
It
can
would
be
be a
from
boring
like
cartoon if you watched it from
100%.
one
And you
angle.
can get like
100%, yeah.
impossible angles.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
right on
Animation.
the net and stuff.
Yeah. And then just like the momentum of the game, like they do a really good job of like continuing that, and they keep it interesting, like and they definitely keep you on the edge of your seat of like, oh, are they gonna win and stuff. So yeah.
Whenever you hear people talk about animating stuff, there's like the less realistic something is, the easier it is to animate because people have no point of reference for it. And so like so again, like going to like Dragon Ball Z, it's my point of reference for anime. It's easy to be like, oh yeah, sure, I guess it's fine for like somebody flying around or whatever, because that doesn't really happen. Whereas
On a
like
cloud.
yeah, and it's just like, whereas like you watch, this is like, oh yeah, you really have to be like, oh, how they move and how and things got to look.
Or you don't
real.
realize like when you go to hit a volleyball, you're not jumping straight up and down. You have a whole entire approach. You have to swing your arms back to gain enough momentum and power. And then even when you hit the volleyball, it's not about strength, it's about like the torque in your arm, like trying to swing as fast as you can. And then not even that, like you have to be able to angle the ball to go a certain way. Like if you're going to get blocked, you have to be able to like swing your arm a certain way and like even angle your hand to like hit it a certain way and like position it on a certain place of the court. So the animation is so good. Like I was kind of nervous going into it because there's some sports anime that are just so cringy and like you can tell they didn't have the biggest budget.
Like what?
Okay. So one thing that this anime, the Haikyuu, is not cursed with that a lot of sports animes are. Every high schooler is the most jacked human being.
That's true. They don't look huge.
They look like high schoolers in the
they're
show.
like kind of lanky and stuff.
Yes, there's some that are so bad.
Those memes are so funny. Like
That's something I really appreciate about the show. That is, it seems like a subtle thing, but it makes it more real.
Yeah.
They actually look like kids.
They do. Well, and you see them like progress to like as they get older throughout high school, they don't change their physical appearance. It changes a little bit, but it's not like some animes, they come back into their senior year and all of a sudden they've grown 6 feet and they're super jacked and it's like, no, that's grown. What? Like sometimes that happens, but what? But yeah, they don't do that in Haikyuu. And it's fun too, like there's different members on the team that all have different personalities, just like a normal like team dynamic. So
we don't see that in the first episode.
No, we don't see that.
I don't
in the
even
first
like
episode,
any of the people that are like on the little ragtag team come back as characters?
No.
That's too bad.
It's just Hinata.
So like his buddy, his soccer buddy
doesn't the white-haired kid come back?
No, I think he was a junior.
Or is that a different white-haired
He's
kid?
a junior, yeah.
So again, I wish
That's one thing
I wish
that's
it was
sad.
just about like the ragtag team.
Well, it does become
Well,
like
they
about,
are
they
still
are
a
like
ragtag.
well, sure, they're
underdogs.
small school, or
Yeah.
whatever.
Like once they get
And
to high school.
it's still like in this first episode, they do it more so to highlight the difference between the two main characters.
Yeah.
Looking back, like of what I talked about, Attack on Titan, I don't fully take it back, but in retrospect, I compare it to this, where it's like the first episode is really just to set up the main character. In this show, it's the same way. The whole episode services the two main characters alone. And so, like you hinted at earlier, the way that they're portrayed on the court in that first game, it essentially sets up the challenges that they're going to face throughout at least the first season as the heroes of the show.
Yeah.
And the show wraps up with their first day of high school practice. And Hinata walks on the court and sees that Kageyama is going to the same school as him.
And
So-
he just got, last time he saw that guy, he was like telling him off, being like,
Yeah.
one day I'm going to be better than you.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
And all
much.
this stuff. And
He's
then
such a
like,
He's
jerk.
like crying on the
Such
stairs.
a
And
jerk.
yeah.
Ugh, he's such
It's
a jerk.
funny.
But it's the character development, phenom.
What do you
So
think,
good.
Kayla?
I was gonna say, like, because they keep showing, like, when he first decides he wants to play volleyball, of him practicing by himself, and they're like teasing that he's on the girls' club, but it's really just him in the club, the boys' club, and he's like doesn't want to work with the girls, which is like, that's ridiculous. You don't even know how to play.
What a fool.
But like when he has that moment when he first like spikes the ball and he has that feeling, like I remember that.
Yep.
I remember that when you like first understand, like, oh my gosh, like I connected
Right.
and had power on the ball and,
And you
stuff.
see the ball smash into like the middle school kid's face.
Right.
Like when
Yes.
you're playing Smash Face with
Oh
him.
my god.
And the fact that he was like,
No.
"Can you set for me? Can you set for me?" He's
I
just
know.
asking anybody and
So
stuff. Like that
cute.
is as like when you first, well, at least like when I first played in middle school and
Oh,
stuff.
for sure.
Like you just wanted somebody to like be the setter, like,
Yeah.
but then just like finding somebody that wants to
Yeah.
be the
I
one
think this
setting all the time is hard because
Yeah, the show.
everybody wants to.
Everyone wants to
practice
hit.
hitting.
Yeah, unless you have a really good dedicated setter.
I like, though, that you pointed out, he's like, I don't want to be on the girls' club. And then at the end of the episode, after he gets annihilated, he's like, okay, I'm going to learn from the girls'
I
club.
know.
Yeah, that was hilarious because the big lady, she's just like,
Yeah.
The big, you
Like,
said the big
be-
lady, but like she's a middle schooler.
Well, I
right?
thought she was the coach.
I don't think so. I don't.
I
She
don't
was
know,
dressed exactly
honestly.
the same as everybody
no.
else.
Yeah, but the coaches in volleyball like dress like.
When I
women.
looked at her, I did not think for a second that she was
Anyway,
supposed to be.
regardless.
But
I
one
don't
thing I
know.
like about this show is they'll show them like, this is so cheesy. You guys are gonna laugh. It shows them like flying through the air. When you go to like hit or block, it literally does feel like you're flying
Well,
through the air.
yeah, they
It's
animate
so,
to capture
it's like
that
one of the
feeling.
best
I mean,
feelings.
So-
yeah, it gets
But I
me
can't
so
jump.
hyped when I watch
I
it.
cannot jump.
Kim was
Not
the
yet.
opposite of the main character.
We will teach
She's
you, young
tall,
Padawan.
but she
Can't
can't jump.
No. Everybody's like, "You're so tall."
Yeah.
But, like, it's nothing.
She really can't jump. Like she can get like 3 inches off the ground.
Oh
When
my
we get
gosh.
done, you'll have to see it. It's pretty funny.
Kayla,
Well,
jump
that's
for
messed
us.
up.
Gosh, especially when you've
Lord.
had to be in weddings and they always want to do the stupid
jumping
jump
pictures.
photo, and I'm like,
Those are always funny. The pictures
I
where like it's
can't.
everybody jumping. And there's like the one girl on the end
It's
who's like
me.
just putting her arms in the air.
It's me. I can't.
So
Smiling.
So you guys are like mentioning like the animation, like showing like how awesome it is to hit things and everything. And I don't know, maybe I'm just coming at this like with the wrong perspective and everything. But like whenever it goes from like being normal animation to like the super intense speed lines, like I'm laughing because I think
Sure.
it's funny. Like
Yeah,
I'm like
It is funny.
okay, because I'm just
No,
like
it's,
Especially
it's,
when the
it's
guy-
hyper intense.
yeah,
It
like
is.
this.
Oh, it's way exaggerated.
So it comes from Shonen Jump.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, it's the same magazine that Dragon Ball's published in.
Oh, okay.
It's for boys, like young
Yeah.
boys. They want the action lines like that to like just like it's supposed to
They
be
want
a bit.
that intensity.
It's supposed to be over the top.
Yeah,
intense.
but I mean, like, whereas like if I see
Because
action
they
lines,
made
and
him all muscly too, and so it was
he
funny.
looks like a different person. Like when he,
Sure.
like
Yeah.
the second time when he does like the whatever the slide one where he like
Yeah.
jumps over and stuff, like he looks like he's from a different show
In-
and they copy and pasted him into this one. And so I'm like, it's like
Control
something where it's
C,
like
Control
those
V.
parts in SpongeBob where
Right,
like
where it's
where it
extra
cuts like
detail.
super realist pictures.
From my recollection, this is the most intense of the action lines in the show.
for real in the
my
first
gosh.
episode.
For
If
real.
I can recall, the rest of them don't stand out like that.
Because
No.
that second
It flows better.
spike that he does, I'm just like
It flows
like
way
when
better,
the,
yeah.
when
So
the
funny.
episodes are all just like volleyball action
Mhm.
with like the character moments within, it all flows way more seamlessly than that.
yeah.
Yeah. Also, the openings and the endings of the show are so catchy and they get you so hyped up. And I'll like, if I'm having a bad day, I will just go to YouTube and I'll listen to them. And I'm like, okay,
They're really
we can
fun.
do this. We got this. And
They were fun.
I think it's like the second, third, and fourth season are all, their openings and endings are all performed by the Burnout Syndromes, which is just like a really fun Japanese rock band. So, fun facts.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it was an enjoyable thing. I did not mind watching it twice today. Like, I did watch it twice today.
I could tell when we're like, we haven't watched it. You're like, oh, we could watch it again. I was like, oh, he didn't hate it.
No, I didn't hate it at all. All right, so who wants to go first?
Kayla, go first.
Well, my answer is Binge because I've actually already been watching it before this.
Well, you picked it because it was a show you could watch with the kids around.
Yeah, I can watch it with
Yes,
the kids.
that's true.
It's super
The
fun. with
kids
kids.
really like it. I've
don't
been
know.
watching the dubbed with them. They watch it.
The England.
England.
Send that to England.
Yeah.
Oh, I want a shirt that says that. You guys watch the sub?
Oh my
Oh,
god.
set that to
Yeah.
England.
I don't know. But I started watching it because I was like, this is Lorna's all-time favorite. I'm going to watch it. So I'd been watching since like a couple weeks ago or something. But anyways.
I saw part of a random episode one day when I came home and you guys were watching it. I was like, what is this?
Yeah. I think we watched like the first like 8 or so episodes the first day because me and the kids were just like doing laundry and cleaning and stuff. So,
Yep.
but
It's
yeah.
the opposite of Violet Evergarden, where like it's okay if you miss a couple minutes of dialogue or whatever. You'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Unless you're like in the intense
Unless it's like a
moment.
tournament
Well,
or
sure,
something.
yeah.
Where
But,
like,
like, you
wait,
probably
they're
wouldn't
6
walk away
points
from
ahead.
that.
What the
No,
heck?
but if
What
it's like the
happened?
build up where they're like just practicing, whatever, you could
Yeah.
probably miss it.
Yeah.
Also, there's
It's a lot of stuff to get you not just familiarized, but get you attached with the characters. So it's like, some of it's not really super important to the story, but it's just stuff to make you feel more for the boys.
the boys are
Yeah.
sons.
Boys.
And I can tell you, like, yeah, if you decide you did want to binge it, like, I would tell you that you would, even though you're feeling sad about the first episode, you're not going to see the other people. You're going to really like the other
Oh, you're
people
talking
that
to
come.
me specifically.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the new
Oh,
crew.
okay.
Yeah,
the
you're
new
gonna
crew is
like
so
the
good.
other
God is
people
the best.
coming
You get
in.
so
The boys.
attached to them. And like when the seniors graduate, I cried. I legit cried. I was like, my sons, I'm so proud.
Well, when you're watching like the intro, you're like, okay, I haven't seen that person or
Yeah.
that person.
That's one thing I do like about anime is like they'll give you peeks.
I'm
And
like,
like
who's
at the
this
end they'll give you
girl?
previews and stuff too.
Manager, dog.
Well,
Got a
they,
notebook.
they look cool in their black uniforms,
Yeah.
too. They're tracksuits.
Slick.
They're super
Slick and
cool.
sleek.
I like the
But-
green uniforms better myself.
The lime green.
That's right.
Seth, would you okay, so you're binging it?
Yes.
What about you, Seth?
Huh. Well, here's the thing. Like I said, I watched it twice.
The first episode.
And the first time we watched it, I was fully prepared to be like, this isn't me saying I don't think it's good and I didn't enjoy it, but I'm gonna bail on it. But then we watched it a second time, and so after that, I was kind of like, I don't know, it's kind of fun. And then we talked about it, and I think I'm in. I think I'm gonna binge. And so,
All right. You can't change your mind next week like you did with Attack on Titan.
I'm not
Like,
changing
you
my
need-
mind.
Okay, but next week I don't want to come back and you be like, you know what?
Well,
I
it's
changed
different.
my
No.
mind."
Well, if I'm gonna pick my binge order, I'm still gonna get through Violet Evergarden before I'm gonna start watching this.
Sure.
Okay.
Because it's easier to get through Violet
Right.
Evergarden. Like I can just watch. There's like 12 episodes, like it's like 6 hours of
Yeah,
TV.
yeah.
It's not a lot.
I could finish that in the next couple of days if I really wanted
Haikyuu
to.
is like 4 seasons. some
Which makes it a little-
OVAs.
But
That's
they're
always
it's
more
still-
intimidating.
It's still 20-minute episodes,
Which
so
is
it's
always
like-
nice.
There's also the 2 Haikyuu movies that are available are just recaps.
They're just recaps.
It's like if you just
Oh,
want to
okay.
watch the whole season in one go, you
I
can
should
sit
do
down and
that.
watch the movie and
I
stuff.
don't.
You totally can.
Don't
yeah,
do
but-
that for the last couple seasons.
Yeah,
Okay.
they do cut out some like intense
The last
character
couple of
development.
seasons are okay. Like
They kind of did it as like
Yeah.
if you want to watch it before you watch the next season, you can just
Like a
sit down and watch.
reminder.
the
yeah,
Just
like
movie
when the
again.
new season was
Yeah.
about to come out, they would release it.
Yeah,
But
Which is really cool they did that,
I just
honestly.
don't... It's hard. I don't want to say I want to binge every show that we... I mean,
No.
to be fair...
We'll
we
get
are
to a
hitting...
But
point.
this is her top
I
favorite.
know, that's what I'm saying.
So
It's
you're
like, okay.
I just want to make sure
likely
that... I just want to make
gonna
sure
wanna binge
that we aren't, like, setting the precedent.
We're gonna
like,
get to
every show is, like, we want to binge.
We're
Don't
gonna
worry,
get to
when
a-
we get to Kayla's K-dramas.
Oh, my God. We're not going to do 5 weeks in a row.
We're gonna get to a
Damn.
point where we're on shows that people aren't recommending them to us.
Yeah.
And so it's just going to be like a random show.
Yep.
And it's going to have 24 seasons, and every episode's going to be the same
Oh,
thing.
dude, the first episode of Law and Order.
Dude, or NCIS.
I'm excited about the first episode of Jag.
Oh my god.
Hell yeah.
Oh, we'll do like a month where it's like
No.
we go from what shows spawned
What
the other one. We go
spawned
Jag
spin-offs?
to NCIS
No.
to NCIS Los Angeles
Miami.
to NCIS
Oh my
Louisiana
God.
or
Yeah.
New Orleans or
Yeah.
Louisiana. The whole state.
You're binging.
I'm binge it, sure.
You?
You guys have both already
Obviously
seen
binge
it.
Oh, wait,
it.
you already said it.
I have a Haikyuu shirt.
Yeah.
I have my Hinata and Kageyama figurines. They're like little wire holders. I have them in my office. Whenever I see them, I'm like
This
inspired.
is where Wayne drops the hammer. He's like, I hate this show.
No.
This show ruined my life.
Do you know how much stupid volleyball cartoons I have to watch? 'cause of this show?
In all seriousness, if you would have told me that a show about high school volleyball players would be in my top 5 anime, I would have told you you were a lunatic. But here we are when a show about high school volleyball playing boys is in my top 5 anime of all time. Because this show is hype. All right? I will tell you right now that I am so engrossed in this show when I watch it that it is disgusting. Like, I can't even understand why I am the way I am when I watch this show. I jump off the couch and cheer for these boys.
It's true.
Dude, I was cheering
You get so
for the
invested.
Mandalorian today.
Oh, yeah.
Just say
That was a good
that
episode.
was a good one. Anyway, that's nothing to do with this.
But, man, they just engross you so well. It is... Okay, I am penchant, first of all, for underdog stories, sports underdog stories. I will always be on board.
Yep.
This is one of those.
Yep.
This is one where, since it's a series, you have time to grow to know all the characters that you're supposed to know. It's not just one guy. And since it's a team sport, it makes it that much better because there's not just like empty characters on the court. Every person, you know their struggles, you know what they're going through, you know what they're trying to overcome that year. And when you watch them either fail or succeed, you feel it with them. In those moments when you think they're going to fail and they don't succeed, I got to admit that I was teary-eyed throughout this show at certain points.
Yep.
Just because you bond with the characters that much, they do that good of a job of writing the characters and writing those moments. There's a whole season of this show that is one game of volleyball, and it is the most intense series of anime that I have seen in my life.
Jeez.
It is so good. Every time they do an episode, it focuses on one of the boys. They even focus on characters on the other team at a certain point. You get
Which is
feeling
really
for
fun.
everyone. You don't want anyone to lose,
Yeah.
but you know that someone has to lose. It's just so good.
Also, they have the best hair. The best hair in the show. I'm not kidding. That's how you identify the characters. Is you're
No.
like, oh, that's the kid that has the weird
Violet
grown out
Evergarden's
bleach.
got better hair. than
No,
this.
dude, Haikyuu has best hair. Best
No.
hair.
Some of
Best
my-
hair.
No.
One of my favorite memes is that Spot the anime protagonist,
Oh, for sure.
and it's Yu-Gi from Yu-Gi-Oh! Sitting in a crowd of like normal people.
Yeah, it's so funny.
You can always tell. The meme's referring to how you can always tell who's the protagonist in an anime by the ridiculous hair,
Or it's
or like
almost-
by the blue
It's
hair,
like
or
as
the
good
green
as
hair, or
like the
something.
video game one where it's like when my custom made character is in this cutscene.
Yeah.
It's like guy with like blue skin, and, like purple spiky hair, standing next to like George Washington and Abraham Lincoln. And
Yeah.
stuff. So funny. I don't know why I put George Washington and Abraham Lincoln.
But anyway,
Ugh.
I hadn't officially stated it, but I will re-binge this show. I want to rewatch this show.
Yeah, it's so
I need to catch up. The newest season is released. The last season or so released. I haven't watched it yet.
I did.
Um,
I watched it without you.
Ain't loyal.
She's a hater.
I
Ain't
am.
loyal.
Did we
I
talk
like
about
this
this in
show
the Violet
more than
Evergarden
Lorna.
episode?
What? Okay, wait. We can settle this.
Hold on.
Wait. Okay,
Hold on.
you go.
Did we talk about this? The Violet Evergarden, the one that unrecorded, or the Attack on Titan one about how if you will watch ahead of a show with your spouse? Was that Attack on Titan episode?
I don't remember.
Oh, okay.
If it's lost, I'm sure we'll come up again. We're talking about TV. I'm sure we'll talk about it. Okay, but we're gonna settle this. William just made an erroneous claim. Is that the right word? Is that
Erroneous means that's an error.
Okay,
It is not erroneous.
Oh goodness, Warner would claim it's an erroneous claim.
No.
Oh,
That's how good the show is. I'm okay with it.
Okay,
She submits.
she submits.
She submits.
So I'm just curious. So Lorna, I know we're doing top 5. Do you have your top 5 ranked? Do you have a favorite anime?
No, I can't do. I don't.
Do you, William?
I can't.
Favorite
do that.
anime?
I
Yeah.
can't.
Yeah, I think
Cowboy
I mentioned
Bebop.
Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah.
I mentioned that last
Yeah.
unrecorded episode. Favorite anime of all time is Cowboy Bebop.
What's your number 2?
Number 2 anime of all time. See, it starts to get blurry around here,
Okay.
but it might be Mobile Suit Gundam: The 8th MS Team.
Okay.
Okay.
That's a very
Are you missing some of your letters?
No,
You
that-
didn't
that-
get all of
Order
it?
them.
No, the 8th MS Team. It's the
team.
It's a military unit.
I understand.
Come on,
I'm
it's
just
the 8th
teasing
mobile
you.
William Colson wants to build some. He found my Gundam, and I was showing him there's the bad guys. They're all green. The little normal. He wants to make one.
He wants to make a Zaku.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so precious.
And then every once in a while he'll ask me have you ordered that yet? And I'm like, dude, I order you so much stuff. I haven't got you that yet.
Oh,
Christmas.
goodness. Okay.
Could do for Christmas.
Christmas.
Could do. It's only a $10 model.
Yeah, the
What's your
And I have the
third?
kit already.
my third. See, that's where it gets
I like it.
blurry.
Lorna's I can't rate
Okay.
mine. And she's like, William, what's your
can't.
third?
Third might be
I love them
Haikyuu, I
all.
think.
Oh, shoot.
Third is probably Haikyuu.
What's your fourth?
Fourth and fifth are tied.
Okay, that's all right.
Samurai Champloo, which is
Whoa,
another.
you like Haikyuu better than Samurai Champloo?
Yeah.
What about Samurai Shampoo?
Oh my gosh.
No.
Nailed it. Nailed it. It's the same as Afro Samurai.
Fifth, a show that I think that you would love, Seth. I don't know if Kayla it might be too violent for her.
Okay.
Megalobox.
Oh,
I've
Megalobox.
never heard of that.
Kayla
Yeah.
would like it. Kayla would like it.
It's another okay, it's kind of sport, but
Okay.
it's futuristic boxing.
Cool.
Megalobox is a futuristic boxing
Okay.
league where they have robotic gear strapped on their back. It's called, they just call it gear, for short.
They're still
Sure.
human.
But it assists they're punching, so it's super hard hits and stuff.
But they're just punching people in the face? They
And
just
you block with your gear and stuff.
Okay.
And,
yeah. And your
but-
gear will
But this guy,
your gear will sense a hit coming and it'll block for you
yeah,
and stuff.
they live in
Yeah.
this outer ring, the main characters.
Mhm.
So they're poor. That's, they live out in the desert
Sure.
and stuff. They steal enough stuff to get their own gear,
Mhm.
and they're gonna box. He thinks he can be the next champion. So obviously,
Of course, it's an anime. You've got to be the
Well,
best.
and you're
it's
not
never
gonna be-
someone's I wish that I could be good
Well-
enough at megalo boxing that I can make a respectable income and do it for
and
a living.
look. No one's gonna watch a series about the middle ground guy.
Yeah.
So you got to
I'll be a
make
serious contender until my late 20s.
right. But this guy, they get this gear, and the night before their fight, their gear busts because it's pretty crappy.
Is he just going to fight with no gear?
He fights with no gear.
I'm
His name is
in.
Gearless Joe. That's his fighting
Oh
name.
my gosh.
It
This
is
something-
so good. Only 26 episodes, I think. 24, 26 episodes.
Ooh.
You will notice that about all of
All the
my
ones you
favorite
like.
animes,
Short.
except for Haikyuu, are limited series.
You don't want to commit.
What's it called?
Megalobox.
Megalobox.
It is
It's
so
on
good.
Crunchyroll.
It is- it's on a different one now as well.
I
can't
don't know
remember.
if they have a dub out.
Now
for
it's
it.
Megalobox, similar to Metabots, because that used to be one of your favorite animes.
Well,
Anime.
things
not
with
anime.
robotic parts fight. And that's about as common ground as
It's
they
okay.
get.
Is this
Dave-
him? That's the guy?
Yeah, that's
Gearless
him. That's
Joe, there he is.
Dave Filoni said anime in the Mandalorian, like behind the scenes. I
Oh
was
my
like,
God.
whoa,
To
that's
be
how
fair,
you know he's legit.
Manga and
Anime.
anime.
Is that how you said
Anime.
it?
That's Barack Obama.
It's like
Emojis.
it's like one of those.
karaoke,
Whenever
and anime.
I always feel weird when like someone will just be talking and then when they're saying a word in another language, we'll switch to like the accent.
Yeah.
It can go like if someone's talking and then they say like a Spanish, like a Mexican food
Right.
or whatever, and it's like, oh yes, I gotta go and get taquitos.
I'm guilty of that. Taquitos.
I sure hope they have some good nachos here. And I was like, why are you saying it like this? It's like,
Did I
oh,
disturb you with my
Fast is fast.
pronunciation
Oh
of
my god.
Kageyama and Hitama?
no.
Anyways,
It's like a name of somebody's name, right?
back to
no.
Haikyuu.
What about it?
You're bailing, William? Oh,
He already
Oh.
said
you like
he
it more
binged.
than me.
He
That's
binged
right.
hard.
You're binge.
He binged.
I'm
Binge
gonna re-binge
hard.
this
Binge,
series.
binge.
I'm gonna drown myself in my own tears because I watched this.
Also,
It's okay to cry at stuff. I
I
asked my
just-
during counseling. the other day.
100%. So the
She told-
voice actor for the coach passed
Oh.
away
Mhm.
in the middle of the series, and so at the end of one of the episodes, they do a tribute to him.
Dude.
I sobbed
The
because
very-
the coaches, like, you get so attached to even the coach and
Yeah.
the assistant
Mhm.
coach.
The
Like,
guy
you get
who
so
did
attached
the
to them.
coach, yeah, he died.
They said
And
there's only 13 episodes of Megalobox.
yep,
Oh,
yeah,
wow. Yeah, it's super short.
it's super short.
Sorry.
But so the guy that did the coach's voice died.
Mhm.
The very last scene he shot was him like shouting to the boys as they're
Like
playing,
hyping them
to
up
hype
and
them
stuff.
up.
Oh my gosh, I'm getting emotional.
Precious.
Also, I have to admit, I got really emotional watching it today because I was like, I miss volleyball so much.
Oh,
like,
man.
all my leagues are canceled because of COVID and
Mm-hmm.
probably will be like until there's like, I don't know, through the spring probably. But I was like,
Up till
don't
summer.
cry, Lorna, don't cry. I was like, man, I didn't realize how much I missed this until I started watching
It's
this
okay
and
to
stuff.
cry in this house. Our kids are used to adults crying at things. In fact, the other day I looked up the end of Paddington and I watched
Why
it
would you do that to
because
yourself?
it feels good. It's a release.
I
It feels good.
sometimes look up Sam's speech at the end of Two Towers just to cry.
Because
yeah.
because you sometimes
That's
it's just
fair.
like the only feeling you
Once
want.
you
That's
something
fair.
you got from your dad.
I don't. I'm not like watching.
It's like
It's.
to do.
I like how you
Girls
like
look
girls
up
will be like, oh, that's why you want to cry, but then they'll sit and watch like a movie where Mandy Moore dies of cancer with it, and they're like, and I'm the messed up one because I like to cry when Paddington Bear gets
my
to
gosh.
like be
I'm not
reunited
crying
with
when
some of
Mandy
his
Moore
family,
dies
and
of
like.
cancer.
Or when Samwise Gamgee reminds Frodo of the good in the world and why they're trying to defeat Sauron.
But
Yeah, I'll cry at that. I'm
Oh,
not
but anyway,
crying
what I
at
was-
Mandy Moore though.
what I was gonna say,
She's
she's like,
stupid.
good riddance, Mandy Moore. If Mandy Moore dies of cancer, she can't sing Tangled. All right.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. The
True.
only time I'll cry is that would make me sad.
Actually, okay, so
Tangled does make
this
me
was
cry.
the road
Yeah.
we walked down the other night when I cried in front of the kids a bunch.
What a
we
roller
were
coaster.
doing something
What's
and
happening?
Frozen. We were doing something and Frozen came up and the kids were watching Frozen. I was like, oh, I want to watch the end of Frozen because the music cue at the very end when it's panning out and
Yeah.
it plays "Do You Want to Build a Snowman?" but it's like the happy version of it.
Right.
Every time I hear that, I like start to
Oh
well
my
up. So I'm like,
gosh.
it's so perfect.
Yep.
And so, so then I watched that, but I didn't cry. And then, so then I was like, I gotta watch Paddington too because I gotta watch the end of Paddington too so I can cry, so I can release it.
Oh my gosh.
So when the end happened, Charlie turned and looked at me to see if I was crying.
She knows.
And she's just like smiling, like, "Are you crying, Dad?"
Dude, that's the best though. Okay, my dad took my sister and I to go see Spirit, Stallion of the Cimarron in theaters.
Wait, you like that movie?
Oh, very funny, Seth. Very funny, Seth.
You almost were like, "Yes, I love
I was like, have we not talked about this? Yeah, that's one of my all-time favorite
No,
movies.
no,
I
you're
am
great.
the token horse girl. You know this.
You're great. You're great.
Anyways, I remember looking in the theaters and my sister was like, oh my gosh, Dad is crying. And we had like those sour dippy things.
He
where it
got
was
some
like
in
the
his eye.
dip powder.
Fun dip.
The fun dip. That's what we had. And I look over, I was like, in awe of my dad crying because it's the part where Rain dies. And I was like, Dad,
I'm not
you're
familiar with
crying.
this.
You're crying. We just thought, we're like, oh my gosh. We
Are
didn't
you a
think it was
fan of-
bad. We were like, oh.
Were you a fan of the sequel anime of Spirit? That's on Netflix.
I've only watched a couple episodes because it's a kid's show.
Yeah, I know.
Charlie
I
watched
watched
it.
I just wanted to say
Yeah,
anime.
it's cute. It's super
It's okay.
cute. It's not. I mean, the movie's like, whoa,
Just
emotional,
getting
man.
all just crying
Emotional.
over everything now. I cried over an episode of Justice League Unlimited a while ago.
Was it the one where Batman has to comfort the little
Yeah.
girl when she's dying? and
Oh
stuff?
yeah, he told me about that one.
amazing.
I
awful.
cried telling her about that.
It's
episode.
amazing.
And then I started crying because he was crying.
Oh,
In
Batman's
the
the best.
Safeway parking lot.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm just thinking about this
Dude,
right now.
Friends and family, if you see us crying, it's fine. We're probably just talking about a really sad or really happy show.
So I have cried in front of a lot of people because there've been times when I've been giving sermons
Yeah.
that I've cried, especially when it's like, this is the last time I'm preaching at this place before I lose my job or whatever.
yeah.
And so, but anyway,
When you preach a 6 and give,
yeah.
like,
So but there've been other times where like almost every Christmas I end up talking about the end of Home Alone.
I always cry.
Because the end of the first Home Alone is so beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Like when he looks out the window and he waves at the neighbor
Yeah.
guy who gets to hug his granddaughter.
Yep.
And I was like, oh my gosh. And like, it's so funny because like I'll bring up Home Alone as I think like one of the most heartfelt ones, and everyone just thinks about like, oh, the guys get hit in the
Traps.
face with like,
Yeah.
but then like I'll describe it, and it's funny because there's always a couple people in the audience I can see them tearing up, and
Yep.
it's just like just telling them about Home Alone, and it's like, yep,
Yep.
if you can do that, you
Okay,
can
next
do
week,
anything.
let's do Soul Eater.
All right.
So it's on.
Again, I don't really know anything about this one. So.
Soul Eater's really fun.
We've got 2 shows left in Lorna's,
my list.
and then after that we'll probably go to Taking Turns. Or whatever.
Yeah.
If we like 50 episodes in, we'll come to my top 5 anime. We won't have to rewatch Haikyuu. Revisit.
Yep, let's save us
Oh my gosh.
we can watch the second episode of Haikyuu at that point.
Yeah,
Right.
so if you
And then-
want to follow with us, you can watch Soul Eater.
Soul Eater next week. Be there.
They have a sub and a dub.
I will watch the dub.
Be warned,
Do it. It's good.
there is a little fan service.
Yes.
I'm out.
That's the only time in not the entire series, the first season. That's
Which
the
we
only
did
fan
talk
service
about. We did talk about
in
that
the Violet
last
We
week.
did
Evergarden
talk about
episode.
that.
We can
How-
discuss that. Well, we can discuss that
Violet
next week again.
Evergarden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fan service.
Cool. All right. Well, thanks everybody for listening, and have fun watching TV.